One of the major constraints that we saw that came in the way of helping women to take part in market-oriented agricultural activities is their lack of technical skills and knowledge.
The project that we're looking at now from IPMS or ILRI has done a lot of experimenting on how to target women, how to target the household, how to get them engaged, and how, in some ways, make people see the other side of things.
So one of the things that we tried to do was to make sure the women have more access to knowledge and skill development through a number of trainings, and also bringing actually both the husband and wife together for the training so that they have a shared knowledge. And we have demonstrated that this is a good way of approaching knowledge and, skill sharing with women and men.
What we have recently done in ILRI in terms of women and livestock is tried to put together what is it that we know at the moment on women and livestock and how to use livestock as a pathway out of poverty for women.
That, I think, is one of the gaps in this country. There isn't much research happening, and on gender specifically, I think we look to ILRI for some of the research done. And I think the approach that they're using, working with the development partners and getting those research works done, is excellent, and it should be strengthened.
I'm a bit surprised, I must say, to come to a workshop now in 2011 and to hear actually many of the same things being said that were said back in the early 1980s. We published this 30 years ago, but publishing wasn't enough. We obviously didn't manage to get into people's heads, into their hearts, and into the materials which they are dealing with day to day, our messages about the important role of women in agricultural development.
We are hoping that this then becomes a starting point from which development partners can then start saying this has worked before, this has not worked, and research organizations can then say these are the further questions that we need to address in terms of generating evidence.
Education is important. The more educated the women are, then they will have control over the number of family members they could have, reproductive health, population pressure, all those things. There are many factors out there. It's not just agriculture in isolation. For the research side of things, that interlinkages between sectors may be looked at, and then maybe the answers would come from different angles. And
there's been a number of projects, often localized, and then projects working on specific issues in a specific area, at a specific time. So there's all these pieces of the puzzle scattered everywhere, and this workshop is an attempt to bring all this together.
So yes, IPMS has done quite a bit of work on making research linked with the development aspect, and we have other projects that are doing similar approaches where research and the development partners have come together to actually do the work together, and I think that is the best way to go forward.
We have made a lot of progress in terms of at least understanding what the gender issues in agriculture are, of even identifying some of the strategies that could be used to address these gender inequalities. I think what remains to be done is to see how those strategies, how those interventions can be done at a scale that's large enough to reach millions of women, which we need to do.